we found Renatus in 2006, I think it was. We bought 2 houses as investment properties, and then the market crashed and we lost them promptly in 2007. And so we kind of decided that we would never do investing again, even though I knew that it was a way to make some good money and we could help people and make a difference in people's lives. So it kind of felt crushing to have that thought that we wouldn't be able to do it anymore. So in 2016, we started looking at the market and thinking, you know, maybe we could do it again. We just need to go about it differently because we had no idea what we were doing. And so we started looking for education companies, and I attended a conference for a very well-known company, and they wanted thousands and thousands of dollars. And I thought, well, that must be the only thing you can do. So we paid $4,000 for some coaching, and we're very, very disappointed in what we received. And so we kept searching because we knew we wanted to get into it. We knew it was how we could make money and we could change our lives for the better. And so we just kept searching, and somebody sent me a video, and I watched it on a Friday night at about 12 o'clock, and about 1:30 in the morning, I was done with the video and I could not sleep. I was so excited. I wanted to find anybody I could right then that I could pay money to. It didn't matter how much it was. I knew I wanted in. And yeah, it's just been amazing ever since then. We've learned so much. We've been able to impact so many people, whether it's by being able to take a house that's a disaster and recreate it and give it new life and sell it to people that, you know, are really appreciative of having a good quality house. We've also helped people to learn how to do their finances better. And we're just helping people understand the education and how they can implement it more in their lives. So it's been amazing. Like with other education companies, it's important because you get the education about real estate investing. And so, you know, of course, that's what you think you're paying for. That's what you're going to get. But with Renatus, you get that, and you learn how to do your finances, and you learn how to help your relationships. Our marriage is so much stronger now because of drive and because of the things that we've gone through together as partners in a business. And we are able to support one another better, we listen better, we hear each other better, and we communicate more effectively because now we understand how to say things in a way that the other person will get it. And yeah, it's well, I keep saying awesome because it's awesome. But to me, that's why Renatus is so different, because it's more than just education about real estate. It's education about life. And then there's the community that also gives you the support for anything that's going on. You know, you can have a bad day and call somebody that you know, and they will automatically be able to uplift you or distract you or whatever it is that you need. We're there for each other. And it's not a cliquish community. It's not people that you have to be of a certain standard or a certain level or any of those types of things. We are welcoming and accepting of everybody that I've seen so far. It doesn't matter what religion, what color, what age, everybody is welcome. We have teenagers and we've had people that are in their 80s. So it's just amazing to me. It's something I never thought I would find.
I was medically retired out of the Army in 2018. And I was looking for an opportunity, not an opportunity, I was looking for good people. Because where I'm from originally was a bad neighborhood. So I was trying to find people like the military, to be honest. And by magic, on my quest, I found Renatus. Real estate wasn't even a part of my plan. It just fell in my lap. So that's how I found it, looking for meetups.
I wasn't feeling it at first, but I came to nationals the first year that we met, and that just really opened my mind to the possibilities of real estate investing. I have a background in healthcare administration, so you know, I was corporate America, working in healthcare, working my way up the corporate ladder. But it got to the point where it was just so exhausting. I worked so many hours, and I saw real estate as a way to really get my time back and be able to spend more time with my family.
So right now it's only buy and hold, but we want to get into like seller finance. And since I am a veteran, I love house hacking. We were actually about to get another duplex. So right now it's buy and hold, but we want to get into some seller finance.
Yeah.
The classes has allowed me to create over $500,000 in business credit.
We've learned how to leverage my 401k. I had 401k sitting from past employers that we now use to invest in properties as well. So
I grew so much in this community. I became a leader. I'm breaking generational curses. I'm helping so many people. So I'm just loving the journey. Never seen myself doing anything like this at all. So Renatus definitely changed my life. Nothing. I never even lived in a house my entire life. Now I own a building. Yeah. And I renovated something for my mom. She's my tenant, and you know, I get to take care of my mom, make sure that she's good. So it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
And also, we have some short-term rentals. My wife is amazing at furnishing properties and just putting together. What is it like
I just do what I do.
She loves themes. So
I love the themes. I love to design. So that's something that we absolutely enjoy doing together. The short-term rentals.
Yes.
So, yeah. I mean, this is personal for us. We're changing our family. We're building our family. We're also creating for our future children. It's a lot about like your personal growth, right? We're doing things that we've never imagined in a million years that we will do. We're just two kids from an urban neighborhood, and now we're real estate investors and we're breaking generational curses. So forgetting the best part. Okay. Now we get to travel and eat.
Absolutely. We love traveling the world.
Yeah.
I retired at 28, and I was gonna actually go back to work. And I never went back to work because I found Renatus. Yeah. So when I say that this community really changed my life, I never had a job after the Army after 28. And right now I'm 34 and I don't plan on going back. So when it comes to just my confidence, I wouldn't even be able to, you know, be here talking right now, you know. I learned to put myself in uncomfortable positions.
Renatus has allowed us to really build and continue to create the life that we want. I always said when I was in high school and college, man, if I could figure out how to travel and eat, you know, I would do that. And that's exactly what we're doing now.
I love that. That's got to be one of my favorite testimonials. I want to learn how to travel and eat. Welcome, everybody, to the Renatus InvestEdge. My name is Jay Stark. It is truly my opportunity to get to welcome you to the call. It's my pleasure to welcome you to our call today. Don't forget, the purpose of the InvestEdge, this is an opportunity for us to bring out people that are making money inside of real estate today, who are out there, are implementing a strategy. They are practitioners and they are finding success. And every single week we bring them out live on this call to share a little bit about what they're doing, and then open it up so that you can ask them questions and get answers to your questions live. I am ridiculously excited about not just the format that we have for the call, but also our host of the call. That's none other than Mr. Bob Snyder. I've had the opportunity of working for Bob for now 14 years. It's almost 14. We've got like one more month till it's 14 years.
That's right, man. Then it's anniversary time.
That's right. But I've been here for almost 14 years, and it has been amazing to see how Bob has created and continues to create opportunity in so many people's lives. I've seen it in the way that my kids talk to me. They talk to me differently now that they've been able to learn about what opportunities are available to them, how they can get educated, and how they can move forward in their lives. He's an individual who truly commits his time, energy, and talents to empowering the people around him. I have seen it time and time again. And one of my favorite attributes of Bob is being able to see him as he crafts his vision and then watching that vision unfold right before us. You know, we have coming up an opportunity to see that vision in action once again, and that's at our national conference. I know he's going to talk about it in just a few minutes, but I am ridiculously excited to see everybody there. Join us. We're doing this live in Layton, Utah on March 20th through the 22nd. I can't wait to see you guys there to start the Hug Fest. But before we do, I'm going to turn it over now to our host for the remainder of the call, Mr. Bob Snyder.
Thank you, Jay. I certainly appreciate that, man. It's great to be here with you.
It is great to be here.
It's nice that we're in the same studio in the same place, because generally, in times past, whenever we've done any of our Monday afternoon events, it's been a Zoom call, and I've been in my office at home, you've been down here or wherever else. But now we're live in the studio, and we get an opportunity to share some powerful information with you. Let me go through a few housekeeping items with each and every one of you, and then we're going to dive right into our content, and I'm going to introduce our featured trainer and guest for the day, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. Yes, it is, very much so. And for whatever reason, my PowerPoint has frozen. Okay, there we go. I got it going. Here we go. Here's what we got to remember. I mean, for all of you that are ICMs in Renatus, you'll know what this means. That means we've only got 4 days left. I would encourage you to go into the back office and get that taken care of, because we don't want to leave anybody behind. That's for darn sure. The next thing is this. We've got a national ATM training that is taking place. Richard Stock, one of our top income earners, an absolute stellar individual and a fantastic trainer, is going to be conducting this. You can get a lot more information by just simply going to the QR code that's on your screen or to the link that is on your screen, so that you can get registered for this upcoming ATM training. Now, this ATM training doesn't just take place, in a weekend. It doesn't take place, over the course of a few days. It's actually an every Friday deal starting January 31st, and then moving forward to February 7th, 14th, 21st, and then finishing up February 28th. And we're going to do the graduation celebration for this ATM training at the Renatus National Conference. So get yourself registered, man. We want to help you to take your business to the next level, and this is a perfect opportunity for you to do that. Now, with that in mind, the National Conference. Jay mentioned it when he's starting things out, but I'm here to tell you, this is going to be such an incredible event, such an epic event. March 20th through the 22nd, it's at the Davis Conference Center in Layton, Utah. And the ICM ticket price, the regular price is $447, but there's an early bird discount. If you get in and you get your ticket before February 22nd, it's only $397. Now, here's something we haven't done before, and that is this: allowed guests to attend. This has generally just been for the community of Renatus, our family members. But we're going to extend the opportunity for guests to come and check it out, to get 3 powerful days of education and information. And they even get the awards banquet for $95. Now, if somebody says, you know what, I don't like to travel and eat at the same time. If that's what they're saying, then here's the good news. Then they don't have to. They can actually just get a basic guest ticket. It'll get them in the door. It'll get them a journal and a pen and a T-shirt, and we will welcome them into this powerful 3-day event, but they will not be coming to the awards banquet. That's only $30.
Can I make a quick comment to that?
Yes, you can.
It came to our attention earlier today that if you go to share the event, that page that is created, it actually indicates the wrong price on there. It says the price is a little bit more than what it is. And the reason why is it's actually totaling a couple of the numbers together. So these numbers that Bob has just shared, these you can take to the bank. And when you go to register, these are the numbers that are used to calculate your ticket price. And the one thing that you didn't talk about is that they can actually select their seats.
Oh, I did not mention that, which is the reason why it creates urgency for individuals to be getting registered. Why? Because first come, first serve. You want a seat up front. You want to be able to hang, with the folks that are right there next to the stage and with the other leaders. This is your opportunity. You got to get your ticket before the rest of the group does, because there will be some folks that wait until the last minute and they'll be hanging at the back. But those of you who are proactive will be sitting with us in the front. So I would encourage you to do just that. And here's another thing you've got to remember, and that is tickets have got to be purchased by March 10th to include the T-shirt and the banquet. Well, that doesn't mean that individuals can't register even right up until the day. We'll even take walk-ups at the national conference. But here's what it means. They won't get a t-shirt. Why? Because we need time to order those things. And they won't be able to get into the banquet because we've got to give our banquet order numbers to the Davis Conference Center, and that's the date that they have told us that they got to have our final counts in. So don't delay. Get yourself registered today. We can't wait to see you there because this event is going to be very different than what we've done in the past. On my screen and yours, you'll be able to see all of our incredible instructors and trainers for this 3 full day event. We're calling it the E3 Summit. The reason why? Well, because E3. That means day 1, we're going to educate you. Day 2, we're going to equip you. And day 3, we're going to teach you all how to go out there and engage. We've got 23 amazing instructors, practitioners in their own right, all the way from our real estate investing instructors like Mr. Brian Sump and Chris Albin. I mean, to phenomenal individuals who are also instructors and teach us about seller finance notes, Jeff Armstrong, or, on the credit side, as well as automation, Mr. Eric Counts. It's going to be amazing. We're going to introduce you to a few new instructors with their content. Never before seen, never before heard. We're also going to enlighten you and educate you about new programs that we're rolling out. Some modifications and enhancements we're making to our opportunity to help improve the business for you so that, well, while you are getting educated on how to conduct yourself and make money in real estate, we're going to show you how to accelerate the pace on earning income with other opportunities as well. So all of that is going to be explained at the national conference. When we talk about real estate, we're going to dive deep on those subjects, especially on the first day. But when we get into day 2, we're going to help individuals understand why this opportunity in Renatus is so powerful and why they would want to be involved with it. By the time we get to day 3, it's all about teaching you how to engage what you've learned from day 1 and day 2 so that you can go out there and conquer the world in a big way. And then we've got a couple of guest speakers. Oh my goodness, man. I still am kind of blown away that we pulled this one off. We have not one, but 2 keynote speakers on Saturday. These are world-class presenters and speakers who have done this all over the world. As a matter of fact, Jeff Griffin is an all-star in his own right, an Olympic athlete, as well as, how was it? He was the NBA most valuable player.
Yeah, he was
for Paralympics.
The Paralympic NBA
Paralympic, yes.
most valuable player twice.
His story will blow your mind. You will come out of the conference, invigorated and charged to move forward and realizing that whatever challenges or obstacles you've got in front of you pale by comparison to what this individual has overcome. And then we've got a great friend of ours, Mr. Dan Clark, that will be also addressing the group. Dan Clark is a Hall of Fame speaker for the National Association of Speakers. He has spoken around the world. I mean, this individual has been, in front of the troops in Afghanistan and Iraq, to being able to go into space. He has flown jets off aircraft carriers as a part of all of his speaking opportunities. I just can't say enough about him. Anybody who understands the power of his message will not miss the national conference. You don't want to either. I could go on and on about each of our speakers. You can, get a look at them and see them for yourself. Top income earners, top real estate investors, top professionals in their own field. We're going to teach you about tax and legal. We're going to teach you about marketing and driving revenue and income while you're doing real estate. Wow. It's going to be the best ever. Don't miss it. Get yourself registered right now. Get it taken care of. All right. Now, here's another thing. Yeah, as we kind of go along, man, I'm just going to show you a few little slides here of past national conferences because I want to just, drop on this one, our awards banquets. Our awards banquets are absolutely epic, and it truly is where the business goes from the head to the heart. When you're able to celebrate the success of so many individuals that have gone before you and to see what it is that we're recognizing them for, man, recognition's a powerful motivator. It really is. I mean, babies cry for it and grown men die for it. And that's just the way that it's always been. And then, of course, as we continue to help you get equipped, we're going to bring out the best of the best. Mr. Jay Stark is going to be training and teaching. Mr. Matt Snyder, myself, Woody Woodward on that Friday session. And then we're going to get into Saturday with our top income earners and so many of the PAC members to help you get engaged. Anyway, just as a reminder, here it is again, early bird discount, $397. That goes away after February 22nd. You want to get yourself in there, and you want to be able to invite as many guests as you can get to say yes. Don't take excuses. Tell them this is 3 days of powerful content. It will be transformative, instructive, and will help them to really take 2025 to a whole new level. And we've created these incredible guest passes as a result. So,
$30 guest ticket. You really put a $30 guest ticket on this event?
I put a $30 guest ticket. I mean, we're losing money at that. But yes, I absolutely put a $30 guest ticket.
And you included all the conference swag and the 3 days of incredible training, even access to the keynotes and being able to network with everybody who's at the event with us.
Yes. Yes.
I every single year I have somebody walk up to me and they're like, Jay, if I had known it was this good, I would have brought everybody.
Exactly.
Well, now you have no reason not to bring everybody. Make sure that you get everybody you talk to within the sound of your voice, because I can promise you this one thing. Bob Snyder is an individual who has truly committed his entire life to empowering other people, and this event will be designed to do just that, empower every single participant from wherever they are to move forward in their life, in their business. And I mean, I've been to the national conference 13 times. I had to count really quick because I'm like, wait a second, 13 times now. And every single time it revolutionizes the way I look at my life and my business. It gets me pumped up and excited, and I can't wait for this year.
Yeah, me neither. It's going to be outstanding. We've never done anything like it before. I think you're going to love the blend between all of the different facets of income producing opportunities that are associated with Renatus. You're going to get to see it and experience it live so that, again, you can get equipped and engaged. It's going to be great. Hey, I just wanted to drop this link on the screen right here, because as we grow our following for this incredible show, the Renatus InvestEdge, we would love for you to go out there and give us a thumbs up, man. Hit the thumbs up, give us a like, subscribe to this so that you start to get reminders. As a matter of fact, that little bell right there is for notifications, so you can get notifications as the call starts so you don't miss it. But the more subscriptions, the more notifications, the more thumbs up, that means the wider the appeal will be for individuals who are tripping over us on YouTube and different things like that, who want to learn how to invest, and they just don't know where to go. So we want to share with them. We want to share with them our trade secrets and help them understand how to build an incredible real estate business. And today, oh my goodness, have we got a good one today. This is homegrown, an individual who came up through the ranks in Renatus as a student, and now as time has gone on, has built for himself an incredible real estate business, an empire, and is living the life of his dreams, and I would think a whole lot of others, folks too. Daine Clark is a superstar inside of our community. He's an individual who started out not knowing anything about real estate. Now he is a seasoned pro, and he's transforming lives because he is so willing to give back. We were thrilled that we could bring him out on the Renatus InvestEdge today. He's going to be talking about, seller finance deals and how to make things happen so that you don't have to use your own money or your own credit. So I'm going to bring Mr. Daine Clark out here and allow Daine to share a little bit about his background, his story, and some of the deals he's doing so that he can give you instruction on how you can go out there and do them too. Daine, welcome.
You bet. Thank you, Bob. I can kind of hear myself. Should I turn myself down?
Well, you know what? Turn the speaker on your computer. Although you got to hear me, so I'm.
Oh, that's true.
Find the happy medium, Daine. However you do that.
Yeah, no worries.
Now we can't hear Daine.
Myself talking.
Now I can't hear Daine at all.
Yep.
Oh. Can you not hear me?
You can always tell that this call is live. There's never a doubt.
Yes, you can. Never.
That this is a live call.
Never a doubt at all.
Test.
There
now we
go.
can hear you.
Not hear me.
Oh, folks, you went away for a minute
back
there.
Oh, sorry. I'm not sure if I touched something or what, but yeah, a little bit of my background. I don't have to get into the nitty-gritty detail, but I grew up on a dairy farm, and let's just say that my own mother coined the phrase, I guess, painfully shy. Like, I was known by everybody, aunts, uncles, friends in school, you name it. My own parents, I was always labeled painfully shy. Just you you don't learn personal skills in the milk barn milking cows. You, if you use that kind of language with people, you wouldn't have any friends. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, so when I first got introduced to Renatus, that was actually my number one hang up. My wife, bless her heart, she was 6 months pregnant with our first kid. And so we were in that deer in the headlights moment of like, what are we going to do in 3 months of this new baby? And she was the one that said, Daine, I think you should do this. And to this day, I still chalk that up as pregnancy brain. I don't know what she was thinking, but because I'm sitting there like, honey, I don't have the personal skills, but she says, no, I think you should do this. And she says, I think someday you'll be the guy that helps other people. I couldn't see it. And so again, bless her heart, she saw it, and here we are. But the cool thing about this, I guess the funniest thing about this is even today, after doing hundreds of real estate deals and dream homes and vacations, whatever it is, she gets to take all the credit for it because this was all her idea. So, but yeah, Renatus, I feel like Renatus was my personal development journey. Yes, I learned how to invest in real estate. Yes, I learned how to use other people's money and find $100,000 discounts and houses in my neighborhoods, all those things. Yes. But at the end of the day, Renatus set me free to develop as an individual and changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. But yeah, I feel like that's all you need to know about me. Again, other than my biggest goal was to raise my family. I wanted to be not necessarily a stay-at-home dad, but I wanted to be a very present father in my kids' lives. And that's what Renatus meant to me from the beginning. And we've got 4 kids, almost 5. Let's see, number 5 is due it's in May. So however many months that is, 5 months from now, 4 months from now. And it's hilarious because we have boy, girl, and then another boy. And so boy family with one sweet little girl. She's going to be able to fight her way and hold her own. I guarantee it. But Renatus meant for me to be that, I guess arguably stay-at-home dad in a way. I get to spend a ton of time in their lives and help them. And we homeschool all of them. And it is insane, but so much fun. And it's cool because because of Renatus, we can travel the world, take our kids with us, and still they're getting a great education. And in fact, I think Jay said this, but it triggered the thought that when my kids turn 16, I'm not going to call it a gift because I'm going to make them pay for it. But when they turn 16, they are buying their Renatus Essentials, and they will be going through that as part of their curriculum. And they're going to have to pay for it. It's not a gift. The gift will be that I told them to buy it. And
I love the way you think, Daine, and that is absolutely fantastic. And by the way, make sure you give Paige a big hug for us because, were it not for her, you wouldn't be sitting here talking to us today.
I would not. I'd probably still be either milking cows or on a roof somewhere because there's no dairy farms in Salt Lake, and that's where we had gotten married and lived. And so the next best thing from farming or milking cows was roofing. And so I'd probably still be roofing, to be honest, if it wasn't for her saying, you should do this. But anyway, that's not enough about me. Let's get into some deals. I remember when I first joined, I told myself, if all I spent, I don't know, tens of thousands of dollars, got everything that Renatus had to offer. I said, I want the best of the best because that's what I want for myself. And I remember telling my enrollers and everybody that was helping me set goals, I said, if all I do was buy one house every single year for the next however many years, 10, 20, 30, whatever, for the rest of my life, whatever, it didn't matter. If all I did was buy one house every single year, that all my dreams would come true. This would all be worth it, right? All those things, when I was signing on the dotted line. And, Renatus destroyed my dreams. I need to do the math, but I would dare guess that I'm closer to buying one house every single week since I joined Renatus to the goal of one a year. I've been a part of Renatus for, I think, 9 years, almost 9 years. And we've done hundreds and hundreds of deals. Changed my life. But I will say this, that when I first joined, and we're going to get into one of the deals, but when I first joined, I noticed that I thought about real estate like this much. Not this big, of course, but even this much. I thought that real estate was buying rental properties. And when I joined Renatus, I got introduced to flipping houses, which I guess the HGTV has a lot of flipping houses, but it's, again, I wouldn't call it flipping houses after flipping houses and watching HGTV TV. But I thought that's what it was, flipping houses and buying rentals. And oh my goodness, Renatus opened my eyes, peeled back the curtains, and helped me realize that it is so much more. And I've learned so much to only realize that there's probably a heck of a lot more that I haven't learned. But I will say that the things that I have learned changed my life even more. And so the deal that we're going to get into is actually a product of learning that, oh, there's more than just flipping houses and buying rentals, because that's what I started doing out of the gate. That, oh my goodness, you can look at things so much differently. And so I'll toggle my screen on and off as we go, as it gets pertinent to share some details. But I'll say this: I called the deal that I chose to share today, and if we have time, we can get into more. But I call this one my signature move, because you take everything that has to do with flipping houses and buying rentals, and let's call it merge them all together and sprinkle on some amazing sauce that I learned from what's his name, Tony Scotti, basically other instructors that became instructors long after I had joined. That was one of the most beautiful things that I remember seeing. I paid my money, I joined Renatus, I got educated, and all of a sudden Renatus would say, hey, there's more, there's new stuff out there. And I would watch that and be like, oh, where was this when I was just getting started? But the next best time to start that was that day. And so sprinkling on extra things that I had learned along the way as Renatus was pumping out more value, added that, sprinkly dust, I guess, to all these things that I would learn. And so without further ado, let's talk about this deal. I chose this one because it's a deal that I ended up helping another guy on. I still made money on it, but I helped somebody else do what I call that signature move. And I was told once that you don't know something until you know how to help somebody else understand it. You don't know something until you know how to teach it. And so to me, like, this was the first one that I was like, you should do this to somebody else. And they were like, yeah. Well, I'll tell the story. So I have and I'm going to share his name. I just won't share the last. Gentleman named Jeremy comes to me and says, Daine, I want to flip a house. And I said, yeah, a lot of people do. Okay, what you got? And he starts telling me about this house. In fact, here, I'll share the screen for just a minute here, and then we'll toggle it on and off. So let's see. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can see this. Or I guess I can't see you now, because now you can't see me.
We can totally see it.
You can see the screen. Okay. So somebody comes to me and says, Daine, I want to flip this house. This is in, let's see, it gives me the address up here. It's like Magna. Yeah, Magna, Utah. And so not too far from where I was living at the time. And he said, Daine, I've got this really, really good deal. We're going to buy this house for $188,000 in Magna, Utah. And after we fix this house up, we're going to be able to sell it for $420,000. So right off the bat, I'm like, man, Jeremy, you got a good deal, my friend. I like this already. And so he tells me, here, I'll toggle this back. Let's see, stop share. All right, I think I'm back. In fact, just out of curiosity, if I share the screen still like this and I toggle to this, can you guys still see me?
No, we see.
Or is it like picture in picture? You see ours? Oh, okay, cool. So if I toggle it off, now you can see me.
Now we can see you.
I thought I was gonna like break the system there. I was like stepping out of the matrix for a second. Anyway, so Jeremy's like, Daine, I want to flip this house, and I'm like, yeah, I see it. You buy this for $180,000, and the way he found this was, because again, just trying to think of all the questions that people are going to ask. It was somebody who passed away, inherited the house, And bless their heart, mom and dad did not take care of it because in their old age, it was hard. It's hard to take care of a house when you're 90 years old or however. And so inherited the house, piece of junk, was borderline hoarder home, needed so much work, like bad. Cat urine, dog feces, whole 9 yards. And so the inheritors, what do they call that? The inheritors, the heirs that inherited the house were just like, I mean, I can only imagine, probably looking at each other. So, do you want to live in mom and dad's old house, or do you want? I'm not living in my. And so they said, we got to sell this. This is a problem. We got to get rid of this house. And if I'm not mistaken, I've done so many that I might be remembering things, but I think they also inherited a mortgage. And so they inherit a mortgage on a piece of junk, ugly house that now they have to pay. And they're just like, no, I don't want this house. It's a headache. And so they wanted to sell it. And that's how we ended up getting connected to them, was we want to sell it. And we know that nobody's going to want it because, again, piece of junk, ugly house, smells like cat urine. And so $188,000 on the purchase. And I'm just gonna cheat here really fast and look at this. $45,000 is what we figured we could remodel this for. Right? It needed a lot of cleanup, not tons and tons of like makeover. A little bit kitchen, a little bit of bathroom, some carpet, some paint, but a lot of cleanup and tons of bleach. And what do they call that? The odor relief stuff. Anyway, $45,000 on the remodel. And so really $188,000 on the purchase, $45,000 remodel into this, basically into this. I'm not a head math guy, but let's call it 200 and some odd thousand, low 200s all in, and can sell this house for 420. Yes. And so I said, yes, Jeremy, how about I give you a bunch of money? Let's flip this house together. I'll basically be like your bank. And he's like, done. And I was like, yeah, like we don't need to call the bank. Let's just do this. We don't have to worry about that, especially if the goal is to only own this for 4 months. Anyway, so we buy the house together, all cash. He starts remodeling it, and I'll tell you, like, I'm not kidding. When you watch a class from Renatus, that instructor's voice is going to be in the back of your mind the entire time you are out there taking action on stuff. And so I was like, I want to be that guy for Jeremy. And so I was like, Jeremy, backstory. Jeremy told me, because I asked what his goal was. And he's like, I want to flip houses so that I don't have to flip houses. I was like, yeah, sounds interesting. But I was there. And he's like, yeah, I want to flip houses so that I don't have to flip houses. And I was like, what do you mean? It's like, well, I want to flip houses, make money, buy rentals, long-term holds. And I was like, interesting. Well, maybe you should consider doing it all in one. And he's like, yeah, that sounds interesting. I was like, yeah, like I promise you, if you do it all in one, it's just so much easier. You can get your money back. And he's like, yeah, but at the same time, like, I feel like I want to be a landlord later. Like, I don't want to do landlording now. I want to get all this money and then retire from flipping, buy rentals. I see Bob shaking his head because I know he knows what I'm talking about. I've been
absolutely.
There. Anyway, so Jeremy's like, yeah, this is the idea. And I was just like, do it all in one. You don't have to be a landlord. Like, what if, here's an idea. What if we flip this house and instead of just sell the dang thing, sell it on seller financing when you're all done with it? And he's just like, yeah, I've never heard of that. Whatever. Goes his merry way. So we're going through and fixing the house. He's hiring contractors, and so here we are, like a month later, and he's, let's say, halfway through the project, and we're talking. He's like, yeah, we're getting things done. We're doing things, and again I bring it up like, hey, I remember when I told you, just plan that bug again. Maybe we should consider possibly thinking about seller financing this house when you're done, right? And he's just like, yeah, and blows me off again. Here we are, almost ready to sell the house. And I like really lay it on this time, right? Here we are, like probably a week away from getting ready to list. And I was like, Jeremy, hear me out, buddy. And I said, what if all you did was check the box, seller financing? Any realtors are going to know what I'm talking about. When you list a house, you go check all these boxes and you say, yeah, we'll take a conventional, we'll take FHA, we'll take all these different types of offers. And I just said, just check the box, seller financing. It's not going to hurt you. Let's say you have a cash offer, then great, you'll sell it cash and you'll make your money. But what if somebody comes along and says, I want that house on seller financing? Don't leave your options on the table like that. And so anyway, so he is the realtor actually. So he gets ready to list the house and he takes my advice, just pushes the button, seller financing. And I am not kidding. 1 week later, I can't remember what I was doing, but my phone starts blowing up. He is calling me back to back to back, texting me. I must have been busy that day because I remember just text after text after text. And he's like, Daine, somebody wants to buy it on seller financing. Call me. Anyway, fast forward here. Let's share some numbers really fast. I gotta share the screen first. Share the screen, bam, go back to here. So here we are, a few months later, somebody comes knocking and says, I will take the house on seller financing. And so here's what I tell them to do. We're gonna share some numbers here and then I'll turn the screen back off. And so I said, all right, Jeremy, here's what you're gonna do. Hybrid lease option to seller finance, because yes, you want to sell us on seller financing, but I would like to get paid back. And so the money I gave you, I'd like to get paid that back. How about you just go get a traditional mortgage? And so I tell them, hey, just go get a 30-year mortgage, right? And everybody knows the last several years, the interest rates have been through the roof. And so even at the time, interest rate being 8% for him, I said, okay, go ahead and go get yourself a 30-year mortgage. If you want to know the type of loan, this is called DSCR, debt service coverage ratio. Basically, it's an investment mortgage. Traditional, I mean, you go talk to any loan officer, they know exactly what this is. So I say, go and get yourself a DSCR loan and refinance $315,000. And so that's what he starts. Let me stop the share. That's what he starts doing. So he calls up the loan officer, basically says, hey, I own this house. I would like to refinance it, $315,000. Okay. And so here's where things get really interesting. Cause I tell him, like, hey, this is going to be lease option conversion to seller financing. So you want a down payment. You're not a landlord. You're not just going to collect like $1,500 from your client. You're collecting, let's see, on this one, $42,000, I think it was. Let me just look at my cheat sheet. $42,000. So 10%. Basically. And so his client gives him $42,000. He calls up his loan officer and says, hey, will you please get me a mortgage on this house? I fixed it up. I would like to keep it as a long-term hold and I want to refinance it. And that he does. So if you remember, we bought it for 188 and some change, put in 45,000. So now we're like 230-ish something. And now getting a loan for 315, right? And so if you're picking up what I'm putting down, that's more than what he owes me. He only owes me like 200 something. And so he gets a loan for 315, only owes me 200 something. He actually pulls out a bunch of cash when he refinances this house. But wait, he also has a new client that gave him $42,000 cash to move in to this house. And so here he is with, again, the same house that he was going to flip and just cash out and whatever. Let's look at the cheat sheet. Cause again, I'm not a head math person or a very good memory person. All right, so here we are. So in the refinance, he gets $164,000 back, and which includes the $42,000. Oh, you can't see my fingers. I'll stop talking with my hands. So he receives the $42,000 from his buyer. He receives a bunch of money from the refinance. I get paid back. And so long story short, here he is paying 8% interest to the bank and received $97,000, which also means that he got paid back. Cause I forgot to mention, let's scroll up really fast. I forgot to mention this. So I brought him $170,000. He paid for the remodel out of his cash. And then he brought the $18,000 in down payment. Hopefully you guys can you guys see where I'm highlighting
we
this?
Can see him.
With my, okay, cool. So he brought $66,000. I brought $170,000 and we bought it cash together. So out of his 66,000, he got all of that money back in the refinance and received, let's call it 97,000 on top of that. If I'm making any sense at all. So he's $97,000 richer. And for some people that I go, this goes really fast. Put it this way. Let's pretend that he had a checking account that he had $66,000 in. He used that money to buy this house and remodel it. So now that checking account is $0. And now when this deal is all done, he's refinanced it. He's received his money from his end. I call the end buyer. Now he has $164,000 in the same account that used to have 66. So he got his 66,000 back, but now he is ahead $97,000. Now let's scroll down and talk about the monthly on this. Because at the end of the day, his buyer is paying him this software is going to say rent, because not a lot of softwares do seller financing, but whatever. It's cash flow. Cash flow is cash flow. So $3,000 a month is coming in from his client, plus $300 for taxes, insurance, things like that. He also does have to pay taxes, insurance. So really that's a wash. But his mortgage payment is $2,311. So he is now cash flowing $689 a month, or $8,264 per year. And if you do the math on that, well, technically it's infinite, because let's see, where's our, like the calculator is going to put in an error if you say, hey, I'm $97,000 in my pocket or $97,000 richer to go do this deal, and I'm getting $689 a month in cash flow. Mind you, not a landlord as well. Like if the house breaks, if the roof leaks, if the water heater breaks, if the toilet gets an action figure stuck in it, the buyer is going to pay for all of that. And so he is literally an infinite return. $97,000. He could go do 2 more of these now, 2 or 3 more of these now. And so here, I'll come back to here.
Plus, Daine, the beauty of that is the tax benefits that go along with that. I hope you're going to talk about that as well.
Oh my goodness. So at the end of the day, when Jeremy's like blowing up my phone, he's like, help, like these guys want it. I sit down and I run these numbers for him. And I kid you not, he's like, Daine, why didn't you say this in the beginning? Like, if you told me this is how good that, I was like, dude, I tried. But this is the beautiful thing about Renatus is you sit down and you get people, you listen to people share what they are literally doing like this. And all of a sudden, reality is like, oh my gosh, I could do that. Like, that's just a fix and flip that you add in a buy and hold nature to it with a refinance or a BRRRR method, whatever, and then add in a sprinkle of a little seller financing it's simple in nature. Sure, it's might be complicated for the newbie. Let's say me 9 years ago looking at this, I'd be like, huh? Does not compute. But hanging around people that are in Renatus, you hear this over and over and over again, get your questions answered, and all of a sudden you're just like, why didn't I think of this?
Right.
Brilliant. And so here Jeremy is, and I had to laugh because he's like looking at the settlement when this is all said and done, and he's like, how did this happen? I'm literally $97,000 ahead. I could go do 2 more of these, potentially 3 more of these deals with that same money, and I'm cash flowing. Like, you're helping me achieve the goal that I wanted, the long-term cash flow, in the same deal as what I thought I had. Anyway, so now Jeremy has done this a bunch more times on other deals as well. But here's where this is why I call this my signature move, because when I first got started, I mean, I had nothing. I was roofing, and my wife was working at the Apple store. And when she said that she's going to have the baby in 3 months. So we joined Renatus. 3 months later, she's a new mom, quits her job. I'm now the sole provider of our household. And I had no money on a roofer's salary. And so when I saw this, thank you, Renatus. When I saw this, I was like, I could literally do 1 deal that would then allow me to do 2, that would then allow me to do 4, that would then allow me to do 8 and so on and so forth with the same original principle used to buy the first house. And again, we could go way deep into this, but the beautiful thing about Renatus is you don't even have to have the original principle, because you learn how to use other people's money, and that on other people's money, I had to in the beginning. And so here, when they tell you like, oh, like you got to save up and then get buy and holds, like, no, just think about it smarter. And so just blew my mind to be able to do it all in one and still get cash flow and go do more. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And
It is
so
brilliant.
anyway, we could take a few questions, or I could talk about more.
Well, I'll
more
tell you
deals,
what,
'cause not
Dave,
everyone
the
turns out
interesting
like
thing about
this. This
it-
is just a
Yeah, the interesting
Go
thing
ahead.
about it is that so many times individuals are a little bit, behind the curve, the learning curve, because they don't teach this in school, right? So the idea that you just presented, where you buy a property, you're going to use somebody else's money to purchase the property to fix it up. He used some of his own money, but he used yours as well, and then you're going to be able to do a cash out at refi, so that you can enjoy all of the benefits of receiving that money back into your bank account without tax consequences, immediate tax consequences, right? And then over time, you're going to be able to depreciate the property and be able to enjoy a lot of the different benefits that go along with that, so that it helps to offset any of the gains that you realize. So yes, you get the power of the dollars you've made working for you on future deals. And a lot of folks just don't understand the concept behind an infinite rate of return or the tax benefits that are associated with real estate. This deal illustrates all of that. And that's what creative real estate is all about. It's not just buying a property, fixing it up, selling it, starting completely over, buying a property, fixing it up, selling it. There's a lot of creative ways that you can generate a stronger cash-on-cash return, and you just demonstrated it.
And I've absolutely loved. When I first joined Renatus, I thought I wanted rentals because not only did I only think that was like the only thing that existed for passive real estate, but I didn't know that I didn't want rentals. I thought I wanted them. But to me, rentals are not passive. I mean, you still have a lot of bricks and sticks, a ton of moving parts that all has to come together and perfectly work. One little something could ruin your day, like a leaky water heater or something like that. But with this is way closer to the ultimate passive. And I have had people call me and say, like, Daine, the sewer is backing up out of the basement. Somebody came out and looked, and it sunk in the middle between the house and the street. It sunk in the middle, and so they're gonna have to dig that sucker up, and I mean, $20,000 bill. And they didn't call me to be like, hey, you're my landlord, you got to fix this. They called me to say, like, didn't we get me some kind of like home warranty? And I remember thinking like, I don't think they cover that, but I'll send you the home warranty. And they foot the bill. They fixed the sewer between the house and the street on their dime, because this is their house. And so you're not a landlord. It's just straight cash flow. And if something goes wrong, the benefit of home ownership is both all the upsides, but also some of the downsides. Anybody that's ever owned a house, like, yeah, darn it. Yep. So I'd rather only own my house and have to deal with that kind of stuff. And this was what really got Jeremy thinking, okay, I got to think about this all differently. He's a proud Renatus student now, of course.
That's fantastic.
But
well, here's another thing to think about too, Daine, because there have been individuals that I've talked about strategies like this with, and they go, yeah, but you see, there's always the yeah buts, and one of the yeah buts is, yeah, but what if down the road, let's say they go 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and then they don't pay me? What's your response to that, Daine?
Oh, dude, I'll tell you about the house I did last year. So I had, oh my goodness, I felt bad for this. I did everything I possibly could. In fact, you know what? I technically didn't foreclose, but I had one last year that similar. She brought $127,000 down on a house in West Valley, $460,000 or something like that. And so she put $127,000 down, paid really well. She actually put a basement or a mother-in-law mother-in-law apartment in the basement. I mean, she made this house beautiful. I mean, did a great job. And then all of a sudden just stopped paying. And that was right towards the end of the year. And come January 1st, I think she was like 3 months late. And I had an attorney, send her some letters and just say, hey, like, I didn't say go get her, but I was like, hey, like, let's just let her know, like, hey, here's your rights. Here's what's going to happen. Like, here's what happens next. Here's the time frame. Work with me though. Like, I want to help you. Let's figure this out. And so come December 31st, like she paid it all up and came current. January 1st, no payment. February 1st, no payment. Went through the whole thing again, hired the attorney. I say, hi, sorry, I know the last one was false alarm. So, I had to pay him for that. But then the second time around, started down that road. But this time she didn't just ghost. She just said, you know what? Let's figure this out. And I'm one of those that I don't want to foreclose. In fact, to illustrate this, I guess I've done, 300 some odd deals, and I have literally foreclosed on one out of all of those deals.
For you.
And this was not one of those, because she's like, Daine, let's figure this out. And so I said, all right, what's going on? Why can't you pay? What's the goal? Whatever. Originally, she was like, well, technically I wanted to have the house and eventually cash flow. That's why I put the mother-in-law, because I was going to move out and cash flow this house. And I said, tell you what, now that I know your goal, thank you for sharing, by the way, now that I know your goal and what it was, and it's obviously not working, how about we do this? I will take over the house and I will sell or finance it again. And if I'm able to create any kind of payment that's larger than the one that you are paying me, I will give all of that excess to you. And in fact, I remember we were actually on vacation and we're driving to the hotel or whatever. And I get that text and she's like, where do I sign? When I said that, hey, I will just take this over. And so literally she gave me the house on I didn't even have to foreclose. She gave me the house on that premise that I said, hey, I'm a team player. We will figure this out. Whole 9 yards about selling the house again. So I took the house, sold it a second time, received a second down payment. And she knew that if she did that she would, she'd have to leave that $127,000 of her down payment in the home. And so I received that originally, marketed the house, got a second down payment. I can't remember what it was. Let's say $50,000 down payment for a second time. Cash flowed larger than what she was paying. And I kept my promise. I gave her every penny in excess to what her payment was. And she thinks I am the greatest thing in the world to date, because I didn't just foreclose on her and make her lose everything. To this day, she gets a check every single month when that new buyer pays. But
that's the beauty of doing business with a properly trained, moral, ethical real estate investor, because the bank would have never done her that kind of a solid.
Oh, heavens no. Absolutely not. But wait, that buyer called me like 4 months ago and was like, hey, I think I want to move, but I have somebody who wants it. And I said, say no more, get me in contact with that person. And so we ended up now selling it to the next. So I've sold the same house 1, 2, 3 times.
3 times? And did you collect 3 down payments?
What we ended up doing was giving the latest, most recent buyer basically the same credit as what the previous one did. And so I didn't necessarily receive a bunch of cash this most recent time, because she wasn't in any kind of hurt or whatever. She never stopped making payments. Mm-hmm. She just said, hey, will you help me? And I was like, heck yeah, I will. And so no receiving, if you will, of down payment on this last one, but still extended this one out longer, because if she would have just sold it outright, I would have gotten paid back and no cash flow. But saved it by saying, hey, we'll help seller finance it to the next guy, credit the down payment, have him pay you, reimburse you basically. And she's like, done. And so here we are, still cash flowing, selling the house 3 times. And that the original gal is still receiving a little bit of cash flow every single month from now the most recent buyer. And same thing, she's super grateful. Like, oh, thank you for saving that. You know, she's like, I thought I was going to have to just stop receiving cash flow as soon as this house sold. I was like, no, I got you back. And so to answer your question, yes, technically I could foreclose and ruin their life and keep all that whatever and sell it a second time. But at the end of the day, was able to create a win-win for everybody. And yeah, she forfeited the down payment knowingly.
Yeah.
But she still got the best win she possibly could and sings praises and has sent me more referrals at the end of the day. And so I'm not afraid if somebody stops making a payment, we'll figure something out. And like I say, out of 300 some odd deals, foreclosed on one. The only reason I had to do that because they literally ghosted me, could not communicate with them in any form or fashion. I was like, well, I can't just sit here and do nothing. And so, yeah, I did have to foreclose on that one.
So
But I find that most people, go ahead.
Oh, I was just, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I did have a question that I think is kind of important to highlight. And it's this. In the very beginning, when you were brand spanking new as an investor, how much time did you spend trying to find a deal?
Oh, man. Felt like my life. Like
okay,
all the
fast
time.
forward 9
like
years. Fast forward 9 years. You've built a reputation. You've got a following. You've got your name out there in the marketplace. How much time do you spend finding deals today?
If all I do is wake up and look at my phone, then I'm good. Like literally, I went out of town over the weekend, come home, check my emails. Well, today's Monday actually. Check my emails this morning, and I've got 3 more deals. Almost, somebody is submitting one as we speak. Actually, 4 more deals in my inbox to look at. And so nowadays, deals chase me versus me chasing them. And so today, like all I have to do is make sure that I look at my phone.
The point that I really wanted to drive
deals
home
there.
is that if you're going to be successful in real estate, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And too many individuals treat it like a sprint. They work to get their first deal done and they go, oh man, that was some work. I don't know if I'm going to do that again, right? And then what they're missing out on is all of the deals behind that get better and easier until you finally got a machine that just continues to crank them out. And you woke up this morning to 3 new deal possibilities. That's long-term vision. And that's what I mean by it's a marathon, not a sprint. You got to stay engaged and stay in the game.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Now listen, I know that Jay's got
Deals
some
will
questions
eventually
over
find
here. I've been hogging most of the time, but I got to make sure that he gets a few of these in. So I'm going to let him ask away.
So for everybody who's watching right now on YouTube, feel free to submit any of your questions there. We'll get them answered as quickly as we can. But the first question that came up is, what are the real tax advantages of doing seller financing?
Oh, so we already went over 101. I don't know if we want to open a can of worms of 201, to get really into the nitty gritty on this. But if you noticed, I said that we lease optioned it first, and then we'll convert to seller financing. And when we do that, if this person is a student of Renatus and you have watched Tony Scotty's class, Contract for Deed, you might already be way ahead of me. But because of that, how it shows up on title, it actually looks like a rental. It looks like a rental with the bank. It looks like a rental on title. And there is just a contract for deed, or if, technically we're still on title, and there's a contract for deed out there pending saying that, hey, if they pay off this amortization schedule, because it looks like a mortgage, there's an amortization schedule, there's an interest rate, there's a payoff. If they called me tomorrow and said, hey, we're going to sell the house or refinance it, whatever, like they just pay us off and be their house or whatever. They sell it, they refinance it, whatever. But because of the nature of how that works, we actually get to take advantage of what Bob said. We can still depreciate while it's under the lease option status that, sure, eventually it will convert to seller financing, contract for deed. But I usually just say like, hey, we'll convert it with good behavior. Which means whenever I want, pretty much. And we still amortize it. I never wanted to be that guy that was like bait and switch. That's like, like for all these years you paid rent only. Like, no, we amortize it from day one, the very first payment. If they pay for 30 years, hey, there I am. For 30 years, they will own this house free and clear. And so we get even the benefit of the taxes. And I hate to say appreciation, because I mean, at the end of the day, we don't get that. But if we foreclose on it, or like in the case of that one that we did last year, if they turn it back over to us and that house appreciates, then the upside is insane, absolutely insane. So sorry, was the question twofold, or did they just ask taxes?
No, it was just that. That's amazing. So do you service your own notes? Sharon asked us that question.
I do not have that kind of time or patience to handle that. So even like the landlord that doesn't want to deal with their own landlording, like I'm the bank and I don't even want to deal with my own banking. And so I pay somebody that makes me look like I'm like a legit bank. They get a monthly statement, comes in their email, or they can mail it to them if they want it. They can pay online. They can set up auto pay. They can ACH. I mean, they can even pay with a credit card nowadays. I mean, they have to pay like the 3 or 4% fee or whatever it is. But yeah, I have somebody who handles all of that for me. They track that amortization automatically. They send out all the tax docs at the end of the year, and it's actually free to me. My client pays $30 a month or something like that. So my client pays that $30 a month for all that tracking, and it's free to me. Wow. And they track all of that. Yeah, but yeah, there's no way. I could not. I mean, I barely am good enough at logging in once a month to say like, okay, did everybody pay? So to deal with all that, no, I couldn't do that.
That's awesome. All right, we've got two more questions here. We're getting right up on top of the hour. So Spence asked, what courses in Renatus would be best to watch to help someone start or learn more about these strategies?
Well, if you may or may not have caught onto this, but let's call this that I consider myself very Renatus educated. I've watched so many of the Renatus classes and taken them to heart. And so this would be pull out your pen or paper or whatever. This would be like a hybrid of things that I've learned from basically the entire fix and flip track, the entire buy and hold track, lease options, but also sprinkled in some of Matt Armstrong's seller finance notes. A lot of what I learned from his class, I didn't end up going and buying seller finance notes, but a lot of what he does in his due diligence to buy the notes, I was thinking, okay, well, I'm just going to create the type of notes that Matt or Jeff Armstrong likes. And so a lot of this came from Jeff Armstrong's class. Tony Scotti was like the guy that helped me realize like, I don't have to own rentals. So Tony Scotti was the man. The raising money side, you'll probably notice, I talked a little bit about that. So raising money in partnerships, Matt Sorensen, private and hard money, Whitney Stark. Let's see who else. A whole bunch, but let's say those ones for starters.
My favorite part about what you just mentioned is a lot of those folks are going to be at the national conference. So that's awesome. That's really great. The last question I have for you here is, over the course of the next week, would you be willing to hop on to look at some of the comments that are coming up as questions on this video and answer those over the course of the next week?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Awesome. Okay.
Send me the video.
That's our questions.
Oh my goodness, man.
Just tell me how to find it.
Daine, I'll tell you what, I wish we would have had another hour here. I mean, I really do. It would be so great to just spend that much time with you. But you're such a rock star inside of the community. You're so willing to help so many other people. That's the thing that I love about Renatus and the family atmosphere that we've created here. And I did mean family. That's, friends who become family. And, the national conference, Jay mentioned it, it's kind of the hug fest that we have every single year. I can't wait to see you there, Daine. It's going to be outstanding. I can't wait to see again how the next 9 years of your life unfolds, because the last 9 years has been insane. I just feel like you are coming into your own. You're just hitting your stride right now. So congratulations. You were one of those individuals who truly did get educated, equipped, and then you took action. You engaged. And can't thank you enough for being our special guest here on Renatus InvestEdge.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough for building Renatus. I mean, appreciate it.
It's what we do. And we're going to continue to do that as well. So thanks for being our guest. Hey, I just wanted to, make mention of something here. Now, listen, there's a lot of individuals that are going to be tuning into the show. They're going to be going, hey, you know what? I picked up some great tips here, some great ideas. Never thought about that seller finance thing. Don't have to own rentals. I can actually get cash flow over time and get money up front. I hope that whatever strategies we share with you, you are the beneficiary, and that it really does help you in your real estate career. But if, on the other hand, you're looking at it going, man, I could still use a little assistance. We don't know whether or not you're a good fit for us. We don't know if we're a good fit for you, but we certainly encourage you. On the screen right now, you've got a QR code and you've got a little link there. Use either one. But you could actually book a 15-minute real estate investing consultation with one of our Renatus experts, just to see whether or not we've got some things that could help you in your investing career and help you get on track with your business. And when I say investing career, you might be a seasoned investor that's just looking to kind of sharpen your skills, or you might be a brand new person that doesn't know anything about real estate, wanting to know what we could do for you. Right there on your screen, book an appointment. Just 15 minutes, do a little consultation, and we'll see whether or not there's a way that we can assist you and serve you as we go forward. Outside of that, man, I'll tell you what, Jay, this has been a great call. Daine was a fantastic guest. This is another episode of Renatus InvestEdge. I think that's a wrap.
That absolutely is. Daine, thanks so much for being with us. You're a rock star. Your knowledge, your story is just inspirational. It's awesome.
Yep. Good day and God bless everybody.
Has one thing in common, they play it with dynamite. No risk means no reward, don't leave it up to fate. Set the charge and watch it burn, it's time to detonate.
If it's to be